The Sirat of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, part 21. So when Abdullah passed away, how old was he? There are various narrations. Some say he was 30, some say he was 25, some narrations say he was 28, and some narrations have it that he was only 80 years old. And Hafiz Asqalani and Allama Suyuti rahmatullahi are of the opinion that the most reliable narration is that Abdullah was in fact only 18 years old when he passed away. And so now Amina is pregnant with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the time for the birth of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is approaching, and Allah Ta'ala has shown, as we've heard in previous recordings, many signs to impress upon the people the status of the Quraysh and the status of the Banu Hashim, Abdul Muttalib and Hashim, and the ancestors of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is going to come from the Quraysh in order to stamp their authority on the people. Allah Ta'ala is showing various signs. For example, the discovery of Zamzam and so on and so forth, stuff that I've mentioned before. So 50 or 55 days before Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is born, Allah Ta'ala shows another great sign, and that is the incident of the people of the elephants, the Ashabi Fil. And what happens there is that Ethiopia is a country next to Yemen in Africa, and the king of Ethiopia, he was known as Najashi. That wasn't his actual name, that is his actual title, just as the kings of Egypt once upon a time were known as the pharaohs, and we talk about Fir'aun and Musa alayhi salam, but his name was not actually Fir'aun, his title was Fir'aun, his actual name was Ramesses. So the king of Ethiopia was known as Najashi, and this Najashi, he is not the Najashi who accepted Islam in the time of Prophet ﷺ and he gave sanctuary to the Muslims. This is actually his father. So this Najashi of Ethiopia, he had conquered across the Red Sea, he had conquered Yemen, and he had appointed his governor in Yemen, and his governor was called Abraha. And Najashi and Abraha were Christians. So now in Sana'a, which was the capital of Yemen, Abraha is ruling there. And as he's ruling there, he notices and he sees that once a year everyone travels up north. So he inquires from people, why is everyone leaving Sana'a, this beautiful capital, and traveling up north? So they tell him that we're going for our pilgrimage. Where do you go for your pilgrimage? So they tell him that there is a house of Allah, the Kaaba in Mecca, and we all go there. So then Abraha had these aspirations. He said that why should the Arabs go there? I want Sana'a, I want Yemen to become the center of tourism and the center of pilgrimage. So he wrote to his king, Najashi, he said, I intend to build a spectacular cathedral for you in Sana'a, the likes of which has never been seen before. And because of this, people will abandon the Kaaba, the simple Kaaba, and this cathedral of mine will supersede the Kaaba. And so Sana'a and Yemen will become the center of tourism and pilgrimage. And so with this intention, he said to the king, he said, I shall not rest until I have diverted the pilgrimage of the Arabs towards Sana'a. And so with this intention, he started building this cathedral, and this cathedral was extremely spectacular. It was ahead of its time. It is said that if a person stood at the foot of the cathedral and he looked up, then his hat would fall off his head, which is no big deal for us because in our times now we have skyscrapers, but in those days it was a big deal. He built this huge cathedral. We know that Sulaiman alayhi salam invited the Queen of Sheba, Bilqis. So Bilqis's palace was derelict. And so Abraha sent men to collect marble from there. He had marble brought in from there. He had tinted and coloured windows put in. He had crosses made from gold and a pulpit made from ebony and ivory. And he built this spectacular cathedral as homage to his king. And when the Arabs found out what his intention is, his intention was to divert the pilgrimage towards Sana'a and to divert the Arabs towards Sana'a. So the Arabs were enraged when they heard this. So a person from the Kanana tribe, he came and he went into the cathedral, and when no one was looking, then he desecrated the cathedral by defecating in the cathedral, by doing toilet in the cathedral. And another riwayat, another narration says that some youth from the Arabs, they came and they lit a fire, a campfire next to the cathedral, and purposely or unintentionally, wallahu alam, the fire got out of control and burned down the cathedral to the ground. When Abraha found out about this, he was enraged, and he said that I will not rest till I have leveled the Kaaba to the ground. I will break the Kaaba and I will level it to the ground.